this should be coming back up in a minute. If you hear me, let me know if it's same, worse, better. And the other option is to restart my game PC. So, perfect. It's fixed now. Yes. All right. I don't know what was happening on my stream PC. Sorry about that. Pretty strange. So now we can maybe get started with a tech show. I think this mic's gonna have to come towards me, and I apologize for the banging. I don't want it to be up that high. We're gonna look at a bunch of things today. Those things include the studio, which is the most important one. That includes the, god damn it. Okay. That includes the desk, camera, a new rig I have on the camera. Her presence demands tech issues. Fucking, that's probably true. Sacrifice my stream PC to having Kitty on the show. So, since the last tech show, I've made a significant amount of upgrades to this office. You'll know that last week I installed a movable desk, which we'll take a look at. You've seen that live on the show, but we haven't had a tech show since then, since the desk literally got delivered on Wednesday. We're going to look at that. I have a camera in the middle of the room. You can see it behind me. We're going to look around the studio. Let's just start that since we're a little bit behind. As with every tech show that we do, if you have questions about your own setup, about anything you see on this show, recommendations, builds, whatever, feel free to ask. That's what we do on the Wednesday show. Let's go look at some stuff. I'm going to turn on the camera and then I'll sort of point out things. I'll go lift things up or move the camera if I need to. But I'm going to show you what we did in the studio first before we turn it around and take a look at the desk. So, as a part of the upgrade, you guys know, I got rid of my old desk and I bought a new one. This is the Apex desk, the rising desk, the standing desk. I don't care what it's called. In doing that, and this is a little weird, but you can see half of my face, so it's at least half as pretty. I created this other side of the room with my old desk. The view you see now is directly behind me, at least half of it. That pillar is an I-beam in my basement. I can't really take that out, so we dressed it. The desk is the L-shaped desk that I used to sit on, the huge one. It is now an area for my wife and my daughter to do their work or their games or whatever. The laptop you'll see there is my old gaming laptop, an Asus ROG G751. It's a pretty good laptop, actually. My daughter plays on that one. That's her computer now, or at least that's what she says. The thing next to it is obviously a filing cabinet and a printer and all that crap. The chairs over there are nothing big because we just started and they haven't picked out what chairs they like, although I think my wife might get something fancier than one of those folding chairs. The bulbs there you'll see 4 bulbs sitting on that desk. That is because I tried an upgrade to an RGB LED light in this room, and what I did not take into account was how overpowering that light is. So basically it doesn't matter what color I turn those guys in the background, it does nothing. It is pointless. So now what I've sort of realized is that I will need to make that light an RGB light if I want to do something special like that on the show. I had an idea for it, for different modes, different attitudes or whatever, to switch the thing sort of dynamically, but I'll need to replace the all I gotta say is 9 watts of an LED bulb gets pretty quickly washed out by a 6,000 lumen bulb. I'll tell you that. Gets crushed. That's what those bulbs are representing back there. Those are the... This microphone slowly shrinking on me? It is. It's not tight enough. Sorry. Hang on. You stay right there. Now I'm watching it like a hawk so it doesn't drop again. Okay. So those bulbs are sitting there until I decide what I want to do. More than likely we're going to put those back in and we'll replace these 2 big guys. And then we'll put on some kind of show with the lights at some point depending on the mode we're in. Let me turn it so you can see the rest. What is this area? This is the computer I built a couple of weeks ago. That's my wife's new machine. I think we talked about the specs on it, but it's basically an i7 6760 is in there. There's a Corsair H100i is the fan. And then we have a GeForce 1080 is in there, GTX 1080. And the old 32 gigs of RAM from my machine. So it's quite powerful. It's not really pretty in terms of lights and everything. It's hardly on, but when it is, I like to be seen on this show, so you're able to see that in the background in terms of, like, you know, just RGBing it up. I think that means she's a really good gamer now because of that. The light that is getting super drowned out, or the picture back there is something my wife bought. It's like this a portrait or a mapping. I think it's almost like a topography map of the moon. And she framed it actually last weekend. It's really hard to see with these lights on, huh? But it's pretty cool. Then just regular keyboard mouse stuff. What kind of games she get down on? The only thing she plays is Mario and Maniac Mansion. She does play Super Mario Party. She does do that. And that might be it. So the only game she really likes is old school games. But that's the desk area behind me. There's a Bose soundbar there too, which I'm trying to incorporate into the show. I have some ideas, but they're not done yet. Let's move it again. This section over here is the other sort of section of the office that is sort of out of view of most of the cameras. That's the console gaming area, so we watch some movies there. You see the Google Wi-Fi sitting there, which is what supplies the Wi-Fi to the house. But that TV is strictly for gaming and Chromecast to throw some movies up there once in a while. Not much. We took a look at Mrs. Crate's computer area, and now this is the console area. So, yeah, it's pretty boring, but there's a big ass chair there and it's pretty comfy. I was wondering about that area, because we can typically see the couch in a normal stream. Yeah, so it's actually not I don't know, it's weird. It's like a humongous love seat with a big ottoman in front of it. It's super comfortable. When my son was first born, he basically hung out with me in this room at all times. He had his crib, or not a crib, but his like bassinet thing, his rocker that he would sleep in, and it would just be me and him sitting on that chair for like weeks. And you know, I play all the console games. I bought all the consoles during that time period because I couldn't really get on the computer. When you first have a kid, it's like you're up all the time. But that's that area over there. I'll raise it up a little bit so you can see the ottoman, but it's a pretty nice chair. And then I'm going to turn it now to look at the rack, and we're going to talk more about that. Obsecutioner, I have had it. It's very good. I have had it. So what you're looking at now is the rack in action, okay? We have taken a look at this before. If you follow the Instagram account, I post a lot of pictures and stuff in there of when we were building it. There was several build videos. You can feel free to go check those out. There might be, I need to actually look at my VODs that I've exported everything to YouTube, by the way. So if you follow the YouTube channel, there's the latest talk shows up there, and all the latest tech shows are up there. But you will also find the build show for these racks and stuff, and this chassis. They look like they're not on, but they definitely are, except for the lights. I don't have RGB lights on those fans or anything. Those fans are my favorite fans. They're called Arctic Silent fans. They have Silent series. So there's an Arctic... the camera that I'm looking at right now, my man, is a Sony A6300. That's this one. The one that I'm pointing at the rack is a Logitech C920. So the bottom chassis you see there is the stream PC. The top chassis is the game PC. And then that top shelf is the networking stuff. Let me slide that out. Actually, don't know how well you can hear me. Probably not. So those fans I highly recommend. They're called Arctics. Let me get a box actually. I'm not someone that is ever lacking for technology stuff in my closet, so I have about a dozen fans left over just in case anything goes down in my chassis. That's these. This is the Arctic F8 Silent series. So F8 indicates the size of the fan. This is an 80 millimeter. I have 12s, which are 120 millimeter, and I have 90s actually. The 90s are specifically for the CPU chassis and the back gate, which takes 90 for some reason instead of 80, but that's okay. The best part about these fans is that the inside where the fan spins is oiled, so they are deadly silent. It's unbelievable. My wife's PC, when it starts up in this room, sounds like a jet engine compared to my two chassis sitting on top of each other. You cannot hear those things. It's amazing. I wish I should put the mic over there so you can actually hear that. Yeah, you take my word for it. They're silent and awesome. You guys have seen inside the chassis before, but you can see there are the two 120 fans on the top. There's actually a break in the middle of those chassis where there's 4 120s lined up, which push, so the air gets sucked in from the front there and blown out through the machine in the back. So it goes through those two fans you see, and then it'll pass through the 4 in the middle that are sort of side by side, push that into the motherboard area. Then there's the graphics card, and the CPU fan is there, which is air cooled because 4U chassis have problems with water cooling because there's no side gate to mount it to. So that pushes air through the air cooler on the CPU and then out the back exhaust, which are 2 small 90 millimeter fans that just blow everything out this side. It's surprisingly cool. I mean, cool not like neato, but cool like cold. It is a really good system, actually. Those chassis are incredible. And they're actually stacked on top of each other, and there's still no heat issue, which I love. Neato, yeah. The routing stuff you see there, the white box is the gigabit Ethernet cable box. That's just what it is. It's a stupid machine. The black one there is a Nighthawk something or other router. I don't know the numbers. I could find out. XR500. That's what it is. Nighthawk XR500. Works out great. I have this. So if you actually look in the back, it's tough to see. But if you look at the top part of that window, you'll see a white box back there in the very, very top. Let me see if I can get my hand to go the right way. Nope, that'd be this way. Right. If you follow my finger up diagonally, you'll see a small white box in the back there. That is a gigabit Ethernet switch, which is required to use NDI. NDI, you network both the computers together and then pass full frame back and forth. You need a gigabit because the amount of data you pass is like 150 megabits per second, something like that, 120 to 150, and that blows up a non-gigabit router or switch. So it's just a dummy switch. Both things are plugged in there, and then that wire is plugged into the Nighthawk router. The only other thing on the Nighthawk router is the Google Wi-Fi, which we saw over there by the TV, and then that runs the rest of the house. Why do I have them separated? It's called QoS. the upload is significantly weighted towards everything going through my port on the Nighthawk router, because no one else in this house needs any upload for literally anything. Mucho importante. That's right. Let's take a look at the back. Actually, you guys want to see the hardware closet? I got the camera up. Might as well show you. All right, let me describe. So, this closet has every box of every piece of equipment that's in both of my machines. I save all the boxes because when I take parts out and replace them, I like to put them back in the exact box, and then, like we've done before on the show, we do giveaways, or if we have to move or something, if I need to know a part, if I need the instruction manuals, all in the box. I save all the boxes. That's not a joke. I could... This one's not really going to reach, but you see where that closet door is on the right? There's about 3 foot of space back in that closet that way, and that's just filled with more boxes. It's pretty intense. The shelving system I put up when we moved in, which actually worked out pretty well, you might notice that there's a little loop coming out of the top of that drawer there. You want to know why that is? Let's take a look. What is that loop? That's so weird, right? I don't know what that is. It's like a drawer with little things sticking out the top. What is that? Is that a snake? You might be thinking to yourself, that's a lot of cables. I can't believe that. I don't know if you guys looked at the left side of the screen there. Let's see if I can get it right. I like that I'm promoting WildStar, a dead game right there. Those cables, that goes a little bit to the left as well. Those are actually the organized cables, because most of them are TRS or 1/4 inch jack audio cables or HDMI cables. I realized that I have about 10 HDMI cables just sitting in that closet. Mostly because they weren't the right length. So, yeah, if anyone's starting a band or needs to, like, I don't know, wire up a BW3s or something, let me know. I got enough cabling to probably do all that. There's a lot of network cables in there too, which I don't need. They've just been the wrong sizes. I should at some point just crimp my own of this stuff. Come wire up your house? I can't. I don't have enough maple syrup for that. So yeah, that's basically my whole closet is basically boxes and cables. That's it. And dreams and tears. That's all. Now, there's actually a lot of parts in there that are kind of on storage too. You would see... What? Did something just go? Oh yeah. Screen just went to sleep mode. There's also a lot of stuff in here which you can't really see that is on deck waiting to be used, because it's stuff that I didn't have time to set up yet. So like, you'll see a 15-foot display cable here. I actually bought this 15-foot display to display port to display port, which is for the 2 monitors, which are a little bit stretched thin when I raise up the desk. It's not that close, and since I've raised up the rack, it's a little more slack. But I have these just in case. It's a little weird, I guess. So I have another box of those. I have a monitor that I need to fix, and I guess a few other hardware items that just aren't in play yet. But most of that stuff is in use right now, because I gave a ton away on the last giveaway show. Just in case bulls. That's right. I guess let's take a look at the desk. Let's do that. It's gonna be easier for me to talk if I'm standing up and just pointing out stuff. Hopefully that stays well enough. Okay, so here's the deal. This desk is, I just bought this past weekend, okay, or last week. The monitor setup is what I've had for quite a while. You guys might have seen that in pictures on Instagram and things before, but I'll tell you what's new. The monitor turned vertical is something new I'm trying, and I really like it, so that's staying. The 4 other monitors just run the rest of my system. This top monitor here is connected to the stream PC. These 3 are game PC, as well as the vertical one. They're just monitors, who cares, right? You'll see up top on something we're bringing back to the show. Those pins up at the top are my creator wall. Those will be coming back. And then look at the desktop. Okay, so the desktop consists of, it's not as much desk room as my last desk, but it's still pretty solid. I have the Mackie 12 channel there, 2 mice for both machines, the Stream Deck, a little thing to hold like random tchotchkes that I have, and then my notebook and a water. It's pretty much it that's on the desk, ever. The cool part about the audio, let's see if I can get it closer on the audio. Okay. We've looked at this before, but I wanted to show a couple of things. If you notice, the cabling looks a little different, right? I talked about this last time on the show. You guys know that each channel runs a different piece of audio on my stream, so alerts are on one channel, games on one channel, whatever, voice on one channel, everything like that. So they're all different levels. These cables here are the braided cables I spoke about on in the communities and on Instagram. Those cables I found, they're like half the thickness of the last cables I was using, half the weight. They don't get tangled. That's unbelievable. I can't believe I didn't buy these things earlier. Amazing cables. If you're looking for like quarter inch to quarter inch or quarter inch to 3.5, I have the suggestion for you. They're fantastic. We're not going to go into like the workings of a mixer because we've done that show before, but if you have questions, you let me know. Yeah, the braided cable is amazing, dude. The one issue that I have now is that if you take a look back, this is the mic stand. See it on the ground? It comes up here. I now no longer like it. I need it out of the way. So I'll tell you about an improvement that I'm making to the studio next, and a mistake that I made. A pretty big one. But we can talk about what the solution will be. This is the back of the rack. Back of the rack is usually closed. It's opened up to when we were trying to fix that audio issue, but also to show you guys kind of what it looks like on the inside. It looks like a mess, like a rat's nest, but I'm telling you, before these braided cables, it was about 100 times worse. About 100. So take a look in there. There's no way I'd be able to explain what everything is, but basically it's all display stuff and audio stuff. You'll notice that there's some huge black boxes in there. Look like thick boxes. You'll see one there on the right. Those are what are they called? Noise tolerance, ground noise isolators. So when you have a bunch of different things plugged into the same box, there can be some static on the line. That's called grounded noise or white noise or whatever you call it. Those things basically isolate out that line of audio and make it more crisp. So if I turn this stuff off, you shouldn't really hear any like hissing or anything like that, even though there's 100 things going in the same machine in a lot of different power outlets. There's also, I'm sorry if I'm talking quickly, but I've talked about some of this stuff previously. The white box you'll see at the top here with some lights on, this guy right here, that is a DBX 286. That's a noise compressor and noise gate. It's a hardware solution for a noise gate on the computer. Why do I do that? Because my voice runs in the same line that all the other audio does. So if I noise gated this right here, the rest of the audio for my whole stream would be getting noise gated, and you can understand what that means. It doesn't make any sense. So I do it separate through what's called an insert line. That's the reason I have this mixer. There's an insert line down the channel. Let me point that out real fast. If you take a look at this channel, mixers look confusing. They're not actually that confusing, and I'm someone that has no kind of audio engineering degree, so if it's understandable by me, anyone could probably figure it out. This channel here, this line, you can consider one sound. So the way you think about it visually is that sound will come into these cords, right? Sound comes in here, and then it just travels down this line of knobs down to the bottom. When it gets to the bottom, everything gets pushed to one side and then sent out one mix. That's what they call it. It all gets mixed together. That's why it's called a mixer. These knobs do different audio adjustments, bass and lows and highs and all that stuff. You can add effects, pan left and right, all that kind of stuff. The important thing is that this second, no, can't see it. See how these all have like 1 and 2 inputs? Channels 5 through 10 have a left and right channel. Channels 1 through 4, that first one is called an insert slot. All that means is that when the audio comes in the top line, as you can see here, my mixer line is not a braided cable. It's an XLR cable. I don't know if you can see that actually. You can kind of see it there. See the XLR behind these guys. Okay? When my mic comes in there, it travels down and it hits an insert line. You'll see it's missing at the moment. That's because I'm messing with the settings. But when it hits this insert line, the audio actually goes out. Okay? It goes out, goes into that DBX box that we just looked at, gets gated and compressed. Then it comes back out the output line, straight back down into this mixer in that same slot, in that insert slot. Then it keeps running down the line just like before. It moves over. That's all it does. Hopefully that wasn't too confusing. So we have the DBX box there. That's the thing with the lights at the top. The black one at the very top here with a little green light you see in the top right corner, that's a power conditioner. That is basically for anything that's in different outlets, as we sort of talked about with the ground loop noise isolators. Those anything that's plugged into different outlets can have different voltages and different pitches and sound audio things. Everything plugs into a power conditioner on there, because then it evens out all the sound, and then you don't have that weird audio glitch. That's what I don't know enough about, like the engineering or physics or whatever of it, the audio, the RF signature of it, but the guy at Guitar Center explained it to me to some extent. That's what I took away from it, so that's why I have it. Plus, it acts like a decent sound bar or a power bar from my rack, so I don't have to put like a separate thing in there. The whiteboard up top, we've talked about that before. That's where we're keeping goals and things that we have for the stream. You guys have seen that before. The stuff on top of this rack is just sort of in transition. This door obviously closes. Snap it down like that to box everything up, look nice. You'll see that I've added a little hook here. That's just for these headphones, that's all. I don't really have a spot for the headphones, nothing to hang on yet, so I put it there. I've looked at a couple things that hang underneath the desk. I just haven't decided what I like yet. Two more things about the rack. I told you guys that I have a plan to burn out a side of it. If you take a look here, this panel, oh, it's going to refocus in just a second. This panel, or maybe it won't. Can I force it to? Come on, what are you doing? There we go. So this panel here is the one that will be getting burned and replaced with the Hero Squad emblem. We've talked about that in this show before. That's a goal of the show. That's up there on my board. I'm going to take this, get this basically carved out. I just drew a heart, but carved out in some method. We're going to put LED lights behind it so it'll glow sort of in the background of the stream. You'll notice that this camera I'm looking at, if you look past me, you'll be able to see a little corner of it right here. That's the whole plan, is that you're able to see it while you can see me. That's the idea. That's been a goal of mine for quite a while. Let's take a look at some more important stuff down here. What do I want to do next? I'm gonna flip the camera in kind of a weird way, so bear with me. I want to show you what's underneath the rack. You'll notice what looks like half of a ladder there, right? That Werner thing. If you look over here, you can see the other half on that side. So what that is a platform. It's like a mini scaffold, okay? So like when you think about working on framing a house or something like that, or working in a construction zone, they have scaffolding that they stand on. They put paint or equipment or whatever they use, tools, all that stuff. This guy I found at Home Depot because I wanted to raise the rack up. Obviously, if it's sitting on the ground and I'm sitting here and you're looking at me, you're not going to be able to see the side of that panel, right? Doesn't matter if I burn it up, put lights in it, won't matter. It's below the camera. So in order to do what I want to do with the rack, I had to raise up the rack. The problem with that is that, first of all, its feet only extend about 4 inches, so that's not good enough. I needed it about 20 inches in the air. The second problem is that each of those chassis probably weighs about 60 pounds. And then this black box here itself weighs about 40 pounds. Then we have all the other equipment inside. Things around 200 pounds. I can't lift it by myself. I had to empty it and then prop it up on this thing to get it there, and then re-slot the rack and reconnect all the cables and everything. It is freaking heavy. So I can't just put it on anything. It would just crash right through it, and I don't want to risk this thing falling over. So I found this basically a mini half stack scaffold for $30. It was on sale at Home Depot. Looked it up. It supports up to 400 pounds. It was long enough by just a little bit to hold the rack. It's not wide enough to hold the whole thing, but that's okay because I needed a slot to wire everything inside. But it works out pretty well. So it's just sort of sitting on this thing, which holds a ton of weight, just chilling. And that was my solution for raising it up a little higher. I thought about some really cheap solutions like putting cinder blocks underneath, but I don't trust that kind of stuff. You don't know, you slide it, the cinder block starts to tip. Now I got, $5,000 worth of equipment crashing down on the ground. I'm not interested in that. Future purchase full rack. Possible. That's possible. It depends on how complicated we get with things in here. And I could actually see a full rack coming into play once my children get a little older and start thinking about gaming more seriously. Then it's absolutely possible that I start slotting in racks for everybody in the house for fun. Science is what I meant, for science. Another addition on this show is the APC. You can see over here, just around the corner, I think, if you look down. Let me get this right there. So you can see in the background there's a small APC. That's just a backup power unit. That's all that is. You have them at work, guaranteed on most of your machines. If you work with computers, if you're in IT, you know exactly what that thing is. It's just a backup battery. If the power goes out here, my computers stay on for a little bit. The only point is to not force some crazy shutdown on all my equipment. So that thing will run it for a couple of minutes, half hour, and then they'll do a shutdown, is how I understand it. It's not an expensive one. It's not like a full-size generator. I can't play entire games on that thing, but it's better than an immediate surge and shut off. So I bought that recently. It's a pretty good deal at Micro Center too. Probably the most important addition of this whole room is my cable management. If you remember previously when we've looked at some stuff, or you may have seen pictures on the Discord or on social media, I'm not good, or wasn't good with cable management, or at least that was the story. The real story was my audio was just so incredibly complicated, and the cords were so big and in differing sizes that there was no way for me to do a manageable cable system where I could hide things. Once I got this set up to a finalized state where I wanted it to be, it's a lot easier for me to match up lengths of things and rebuy cables and sort of start from scratch and get the organization I want. You'll see the braided cables as an example of that. They're all the same length. It's easier. This big black cord down here is every single cable that's going into that box, and my monitor cables and all that kind of stuff. If I shrink this down a little, you'll be able to see that. I just tip it. So you can see down here, that cable is it's a Velcro wrap actually on every cable in my machine. So some of the thicker ones are actually 2 cable wraps tied like Velcro to each other, but they keep all the cables nice and kind of neat together, basically making it look a little nicer. There are 2 errant cables. One of them is for the desk. The other cable is a power cable to my upper right monitor, which is just too short to reach the power strip that is underneath the desk. It's a little irritating. I may rebuy a power cord just to get that in as well, but for now, that's the situation. If we look a little higher underneath, you'll see the same type of thing. That cable comes up. It actually splits here, and there's 2 pieces of Velcro at some point, but they split, and all the cables up here are for the monitors. The desk has a number of cables that are involved. They are sort of underneath. And this side over here, I could probably use a little something on, but I am in the process of sort of doing a camera adjustment, which we're going to talk about in just a moment. But this cable management shelf came for free with the desk, so that was pretty nice. This box is what controls the height of the desk. We could show you that right now. Okay. So I have 2 settings of the desk. One is for the highest setting, one is for the lowest. I'm just going to do it by hand for now, but you guys have seen the desk raise up and lower. This is all it takes. Ready? This is the lower one. I believe this is the higher one, so I just hold it down. See some numbers. That's it. Now my desk is a little bit higher. See, I'm down a little lower now. That's it. Apex Desk is the name of this maker. Pretty neat sound when it goes up too. It's pretty cool. But yeah, that's all it is. This whole thing was for that desk so I can stand up. I don't want to be sitting down the whole time. I like to bring in a little flair on the show, some different stuff. I have some plans for the stand-up scenario, so we'll be seeing that more often for sure. Let's look at the camera. Okay, it's going to be a little hard to see, but what you can see here is that the camera is actually on its own like gimbal system. Hang on a second. Can I show you that in a better light? Oh, there. You can see it now if I let it focus out of the light. So you see how it's in its separate like little scoop? That is a specific system I bought. It's like a 3 elbow what looks like a desk mount for a microphone, but it holds up a little extra weight for a camera. The attachment on top that looks a little thicker near the joint is a slot if you want to include a light source on there, so I could actually put the light on that. And this whole idea is that when you tripod mount it, you can get a little more distance, a little more reach, and you can swivel the camera quite easily. I can show you that right now, actually. It's a little bit of a smoother swivel. It gives me a little more directional control on the camera, which is why it's there. I see it's like slanted now. I messed it up. But it's a little smoother than this thing. You know, it's on a tripod, so you can see when I grab it, it gets a little crazy because there's only so many directions you can move it. The tripod works just fine, but what I wanted was a system where the camera would move with me when I stood up, but would also be easily manageable if I wanted to move it around the room, and not kind of when I was raising and lowering the desk with the tripod stand sitting on the desk, it would, you know, start shaking like crazy when you did it. This one still shakes a little bit, and I'm not very pleased with that. I just installed it before the show today, so I'm going to look at maybe a suspension rig here in actually a few minutes on the show to solve that problem. You'll see if I really shake the desk, you see the camera start to jump just a little bit. It's not too noticeable because the camera has a stability sensor in it and it tries to reconfigure itself, but you know, not very noticeable and not noticeable to me are two different things. Like that bothers me, even though it's very minute. I've just been talking for a very long time straight. If you guys have questions, obviously you let me know. But that is the idea of the new studio. I'm pretty super pleased with it. This is a kind of what I've been hoping for. One of the reasons for that is that previously this is way too high. I'll be right back. Alright, sorry about that. So, hopefully this is where I want the camera. I'm still sort of adjusting with the new rig. But the new rig is pretty cool. I like it. It's a little smoother. I like the way it sits. It jumps a little too much for me. I want to see if I can get it in a suspension rig where like I can screw on the suspension thing and then that sits in it. So where if I jumble the desk or something, it doesn't move at all. It's just sort of floating on its own. The same idea as a shock mount for a mic, but for a camera. So we're going to actually look for that in just a minute. But I don't know. I mean, that was a lot of stuff and I talked for a long time. There is one other thing I want to do, and I spoke about it. I want this mic out of my way. I want it attached to something. I have seen some things that will attach to to monitor stands, so I was thinking about looking at that. I don't want something attached to the desk. Previously, when I would hit the desk or something, it would be a loud bang everywhere, which I may still get if I bang the desk and it's attached to the monitor. So, best solution is probably get a monitor attachment and a shock mount for this mic. That may be the best of all worlds. So that's something that I need to check out. That's the next sort of mini upgrade that's going to come. Stop abusing your desk. Well, if I touch this like you can hear that. If I accidentally bump into it, I don't want to hear any of that crap. I want it to be nothing. You hear my voice, that's it. No static, no nothing, no banging, no nothing. Doesn't matter what I'm doing. Dinosaurs stomping around here, you don't hear it. I'm a little neurotic about it. Just a little bit. But that's the gist of the upgrade. So as you can see, since the last tech show, I've done a lot of work. We've had a lot of renovations in here. Not renovations in particular, but more like rearrangements and new equipment coming in. I still have some stuff on the chart actually. Oh, I can remove some of this stuff actually. Actually, we've completed most of the list that we made a couple weeks ago. The only thing left on it is to cut out the rack, which I don't have the equipment for, and I need to send it someplace that actually does. Listen, if Godzilla comes walking through your office now here, I'm going to be concerned. At that point, we're all just dead. It's fine. It's fine to not hear anything. We'd be not hearing anything for different reasons, like deadness. So yeah, so I still have some plans, still some stuff I want to do. I got to get the consoles brought in. They are actually linked up now, but I haven't tested them yet. You'll see up on the list. So the cutout rack is the next thing. I have a lot of stuff that's involved with the stream. I have emotes coming. I need to tech up with Lynn to see where she's at with the emotes. Cam box adjustment. The guests are back, so I can actually take that one off. Face rig is still the thing that's crazy. Full Sail is up on the list. That is happening next week. That's why there's no show coming for all of next week. I was sent an itinerary today, and it looked really cool. I didn't expect some of it. Next Monday through Wednesday, I'll be at a program advisory council meeting that I was invited to join as a member of the board, which is pretty cool. But they sent me an itinerary, and it's a lot of meet the different programs, and they sort of explain what they do, tell us what their plans are for the future, and then we have like a big question and answer sheet to fill out, so we list all our questions or concerns, and then we talk about them in a roundtable type discussion. The one cool thing that was on the list though was that there's a panel discussion and meet and greet. So I wasn't informed of this, but I'm wondering if the members of the board are actually on a panel that the students come see, because it's in the auditorium, and the students sort of attend and they ask questions to panel members or something, which I think would be really cool, because I think that I have a different path that I took in my career, and I came from that school, and I think maybe students only think there's one path out. So I think maybe my story might be, something that people might be interested in, or to not feel like they're trapped into only getting into games if you come out of that school. PayPal isn't showing any tax documents for me for 2018. Should I be concerned? You should not. Just submit your stuff. PayPal will only be concerned if you made over $20,000 in donations. I'm going to go out on a limb here, Kill, and I don't know your financial situation. I don't know your stream situation. I may have missed huge thousands of dollars of donations, but I'm assuming that $20,000 is probably a little bit over what you've done. It's mountains over what I've earned on PayPal. So I'm assuming that you're probably okay. So I know it's not a new edition, but talk to me about that chair. Super comfy. I have had this chair for 3 years now, and it has been a fantastic purchase. This is the DX Racer Tank Series. You know what? We might be able to just take a look. It's about time to get involved, get hands-on. Let's go take a look on the big screen. Oh, maybe I should bring up OBS first. Idiot. Every night. Every single night. Way more than I've received. Yeah. And that's the same for me, Kill. That it wasn't like at all an insult to your show. I am nowhere near that. It's absurd to even think about that. But yeah, I just submitted mine. I mean, if it's not a big deal. So DX Racer chairs, this is the chair that I have. There are obviously many, many, many other types of chairs that look exactly like this. You got the chair when Camden was 3 months. Okay, so about so probably exactly 2 years old, not 3 years. Thank you. The chair that I bought is the Tank Series. Man, I'm getting hungry now. I had pulp for dinner. I'm gonna have to grab a snack here before we switch to games. So I bought a gaming chair, and it used to be called the Tank Series or King Series. Oh, Tank Series. Okay. And I don't know which one. It might be this one. It kind of looks similar. Well, it has a back pillow. That's pretty much it. This is a great chair. I have seen some of the other brands that people bought for like a little bit cheaper to save some money. Those chairs have not survived this long. They have fallen apart or worn out. The seat has worn out, especially when you sit here for a long period of time gaming. I used to work from home. You guys know I would sit in this chair 16 hours a day. Now I have to be gone from my house like 12 hours a day. But previously, 12, 16 hours a day, no problem sitting in this chair. There is no wear on this cushion at all. None. No wear in the back, none. It folds down to about 180 degrees. You could sleep in this chair if you want. It holds, I think, up to like 350 pounds, 250 pounds. Recommended weight, 195 pounds to 450 pounds. So I come in over the 195 and 450 pounds. I mean, my whole family could sit on this chair. No problem. The one issue I'll say I had with it is that the gas cylinder ran out of something. It's, I guess, a common issue. All I did was went to the DX Racer website, went to their customer support, said, hey, my chair won't, it keeps sinking. Like I would sit in the chair and it would slowly sink down over like the period of an hour. And it was just annoying enough that I had to do something about it. There are cheap ways to get it fixed. You can put like weirdo stuff, like a piece of wood on it to stop it from sinking. That's not what I wanted to do. So I contacted the customer support, and I have always said the DX Racer customer support has been my favorite of any company that I've spoken to. Their customer support was like instantly, what do you need? What's wrong, Mr. Barnes? Blah, blah, blah. Oh, what parts do you need? Okay, we're going to send you 2 parts for free. They sent me out everything the next day. It was here in like 2 days. It was incredible. The chair is super freaking heavy though. If you're not a large person, it might be tough for you to reassemble the chair once you take it apart. It's just sort of like you tip it over and it bangs on the ground a lot. Like it's really freaking heavy, as it should be. So replacing the gas cartridge it was easy in terms of like getting the gas cartridge in there. You just knock off the bottom with a hammer, unscrew the thing, stick the new one on, put it back on, and that's it. But lifting up the chair and getting everything apart, I mean, it's tough for me to do. If it's tough for me to do, it's not an insult to my wife or my children, but there's no chance that they would be able to pick up this chair and get it done. It's just too heavy. But it's a really good chair. I highly recommend. I have fallen asleep in this chair before. It is fantastic. It's lasted me forever. The arm cushions, I think, is what you asked about, especially in the arm area. See, I don't use the arm area, so maybe there's a level of comfort that I'm not considering, but I don't ever sit like that. I don't sit with my arms like on the thing. I'm always hands on keyboard or hands on mouse, and they're always sort of resting on my desk. Very rarely am I just sort of sitting back with my hands sort of draped casually on the arms. So I don't know if that's your sitting style or something. There might be comfier solutions. I guess I don't want to say like, oh yeah, it's the most comfortable thing ever when I don't really have experience using it, So, but I can tell you the cushions, the seat cushion in the back are great. They're perfect. Even for me, I'm a very tall person. I mean, this chair I can lean my head back, and I'm not like on an airplane where I'm like this, leaning my head over the top of a chair. I think Pana's pretty tall as well. At least that's the picture I gathered when you were at Frumps last weekend, and she posted those videos. You look taller, probably over 6 foot. I rest my elbows on mine when I'm not streaming or gaming. Yeah, sometimes I'll like lean a little bit, I guess, and I'll put an arm down. So yeah, it's maybe I'm also not someone that's like notes comfort on anything, I guess. 5'10", really? Oh, she must be tiny then, because she's taking a picture that looks like you're a giant in the picture. Or she lives in a gingerbread house or something. But I mean, 5'10" is tall, so. But anyways, I'm 6'5", and this is how I sit in this chair. Like, it's no problem. Plus, yeah, I've met her before. She's not tall. But, so the reason I got the Tank Series chair is that I sit a lot of times cross-legged when I sit in chairs. Like, I don't sit with my feet on the ground. I just have always gamed and stuff, sitting cross-legged on the chair. So the Tank Series is quite a bit wider. That is, I think, a design decision for larger people, which is why the seat goes up to 450 max weight. I don't use it for that. I sit crazy. You know what I'm talking about. Hey, Duty, what's up, buddy? So that's why I use this chair. That's why I bought the Tank Series, a super wide one. Yeah, look at all this stuff, man. We just walked through the rack and the 2 stream PCs, and we took a look around the room and everything. Now we talk about chairs. We're about to talk about a shock mount for a camera and possibly one for my microphone, because I no longer like the mic stand. Oh yeah, happy belated, bud. So yeah, the chair salad. And by the way, I said it before, I want to just reiterate, DX Racer has had, and this is not a sponsored comment, I'm not doing an ad for them or anything, but DX Racer has definitely had the best customer service that I've dealt with in terms of computer stuff. A lot of companies can kind of screw you over in certain ways or not process your RMA or something like that. This company is like anything that's wrong is shipped to me immediately. And I haven't heard anything like that contrary from anyone else that owns one of these chairs. I have unfortunately heard that from other makers that make something similar to this chair. So I don't know. It's up to you. I do know that you have to pay considerably more for. I think DX Racer might be the most expensive of these types of chairs. So obviously, budget in mind. I think Secret Lab is cheaper. I know Omega makes a chair that is a bit cheaper, and it's the same style. You may get the same comfort out of it. I don't know. We were talking about shock mounts. Oh, check this out. So I was looking for mic stands that were not on the ground because I no longer like my ground mount mic stand because it's getting in the way of all my equipment. The other day I went looking for some replacements, right? Look at this. I didn't realize what really I was looking at or looking for, I guess. Hang on a second. Let me maybe just go to Amazon Prime. Okay. Monitor attached mic stand. Mic arm is what I want. There's a brand on here that I was like, oh, that's kind of a slick looking brand. I look at the price. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, it was absurd. What was I looking up yesterday? It was extra long mic stand, mic arm. Is that what I looked up? Yeah. So here's the thing. What I wanted to do was mount my mic stand on that wall right there and have it extend out. Now, from there to here is about, 50 inches? It's quite a long ways. Apparently, they don't make any mic arms that do that. I did not know that. The longest one they make is like 43 inches, which would still have me like this. Hey guys, what's up? And the camera's over here. Like, I can't have that. I want the camera, I want the microphone to swivel over to here, me be able to talk from. I was thinking of doing a ceiling mount, although if you were to look straight up, it's drop ceiling in this room. So I can't really mount anything to styrofoam. So I did find one mic stand that was like, oh, it's 40 inches. I mean, that's close. Let me just take a look at what that is. It's called Yellow Tech. A Yellow Tech mic stand. Let me show you how dope this thing is. I think I might have to go to their website. They may not sell it on Amazon. It's crazy looking. It's freaking crazy. Oh yeah, I guess I should shout that out. There's 4 days left of the charity for this month. It's right there. I think we've raised over $2,000 now. Courtesy of Kill Magruder's last donation, actually. He's the one that broke the $2,000 limit or $2,000 ceiling for the bar. 4 days left on Shatterproof. Next month, Charity Water. I think is the name of the charity, right? The water? Something with water. We're working on the design right now. The t-shirts will be available first of the month. Look at this mounting system. It's called Mica. Look at this guy. Pretty freaking sweet looking, right? Looks a little industrial, a little thick, but you know it's going to hold up the weight. That's what I was looking for. Look at this guy. Look at this thing. What's this light? What's this here? What's this red thing? It's a light. When your mic is hot, it's red. When it's not, it goes out. So you can tell when you're live and stuff, which I guess is cool if you're in a studio, but maybe it doesn't matter so much if I'm just sitting by myself. Did you see the price of these things? Did you guys notice the price on Amazon? Yeah, it's thick boy. This damn thing is like $300, and I'm not kidding. That's a pretty cool. Yeah, see the light turns on when it's live. $300? Is the light that cool? Is the light $300 cool for a mic stand? That's wild talk. It's cool if you're a professional radio broadcaster. If you're Howard Stern, I'm sure $300 is dope over this red light. I mean, that light is maybe $200 cool. Not quite $300. I got you. Yeah. I mean, it's a cool looking thing. And it can attach to your monitor stand. It can, like, I would love to have this. See how it extends? Like, if it was on my monitor stand, it could stick out right here, right in between them, for $300. I'm not someone who gets, gun shy about the price of like a quality piece of equipment, but that's wild. That's wild to me. The other cool thing that I kind of liked about this design is that the XLR cable actually hides inside of the mic arm, which I thought was pretty neat. So you can see there's a little bit of a wire here that's wrapped around my microphone stand. That's the XLR cable that plugs into the mixer. You can't really get away from that. That's just how it is. This Mica brand, you route the cable into the arm itself, which I thought was a really neat design choice. But of course, is it $300 neat design choice? I don't think so. I mean, yeah, look at this studio. I mean, this is the studio that, like, do you guys watch for the Breakfast Club? You ever see those YouTube? You're probably not rap fans. Breakfast Club is a hip hop show out of New York. But like, I'm sure Howard Stern shows are like, well, Joe Rogan doesn't use it. Joe Rogan has a different system, I think. But anyways, the get 10% off your next YellowTech purchase with the code YellowMosh. 10%, man. That's got me pretty good with them. Like, you definitely have to be high level partner to get 10% on a $300 product. That's like $30 off. No. That's like, the doc gets 10%. For me, it'd be like, here's my, you get a 0.5% off. Use my code. Like, that's what it'd be like. How you see some of those, some guys that try and get partnered up with like every company they can and then claim they're partnered, but they're partnered for like 0.5% of a third, when there's brands like the 5th brand down in the top of the brand list, but still 0.5% if they use a code. Like, that kind of stuff is not what you want. 10% would be pretty nuts. Use my code and get 50% of 2% of 0.5% off. Exactly. That's actually what it is. And then like the kickback to that streamer is 0.5% as well. Sell 5, you get $5 back. Or better yet, you sell 5 of these mic stands, I'll give you 5% off of your next full purchase of one of these mic stands. Like, that's exactly what it would be. So this is the mic arm that I was really looking at, but it's really just not in the price talk. I mean, it looks cool. It's probably super sturdy. It's probably the best of the line. I was looking at a lot of top 10 lists last night in terms of mic arms. Like, this is the kind of shit I do at night. I look up the fanciest brand of mic. Like, while my wife looks up the safest cars and the safest car seats and the best, most environmentally conscious soaps for our house, I'm sitting here late at night looking up the top quality microphone arms. That's the level that we're at here. Opens donation goal for YellowTech mic arm. Yeah, right. That will never happen on this show. I would gladly use one if they wanted to send one to me for free. Sure. I'm not even gonna pay half that price. That's a crazy price. So I was looking at like the second rated ones they were still pretty expensive. The third rated is actually the Rode mic arm. Now, I actually thought that would be second, but it got beat out by this other company called White something or other. It's weird that they're both colors, but this one, the Rode sort of movable mic stand is a super high rated one. Oh, this one comes with a mic. I was like, why is this $200? It's a bundle. I'm sure that mic arm is not cheap, but it is in the top 3 of mic arms. And they rate it by like stability, if they can hold enough weight. None of these mic arms are going to hold, over 10 pounds. They're just not made for that. This mic is like one of the heaviest mics I've seen, and this mic is just under 2 pounds. Just under. It's like 1.8 pounds, something like that. Let me find that. Why can't I just find the mic stand alone? Why does it keep... Oh, mic arc. That didn't make much sense. Let me try that. There we go. This is the one. Yeah, $100. This is still expensive for a mic arm, right? But it's more palatable than $300. The cool thing about this style is that we were talking about how that cable was hidden inside of the YellowTech brand. The Rode brand, actually, they will route you'll see this little like hole here. They route the cable up along the they route up along the shaft. to keep it close. You know what I'm saying? That's why they have these Velcro strips here to keep that cable close to the shaft. That's gonna be bad. But and then the mic screws in here at the end. This is none of this talk is gonna be good. So this one I'm kind of looking at, but what I want is something that extends out quite a bit. The problem is that what I want to happen is just not possible, is what I've realized. That arm that you saw that my camera's attached to actually goes quite a ways, but still from that wall, if I stretch it straight out, only comes to about here. My point is that I want something that wraps around just a little bit farther to about here so that I can angle it when I want to talk to you on the camera, especially for my new segment at the top of the show when we do the 30-second intro. I want to be looking at the camera for that, and I want the mic to be right in my face. I want it easily movable off to the side and everything like that. I think what it's going to take to get that done is going to be a monitor stand mounted mic arm, or it's going to be a desk mounted mic arm. Here's the problem with that. I thought I had the piece here. Hang on a second. I was playing with it right before the show. I don't know. I lose stuff all the time. Anyways, this one came with a desk mount stand, a desk mount clip, right? A clamp. But the way it... Oh, I'm sorry. I used it on the freaking monitor. I'm an idiot. But the problem with the desk is that the underneath of it is angled. So underneath the desk is not just one thickness and that's it. It's thickness, then it grows a little bit. It slopes down to increase the thickness of the desk for sturdiness and all that stuff. So you can't really clamp onto this one unless you have a deep clamp. That's my problem with buying one of these products where they're desk clamps, is that it's not going to fit on this desk. So I'm going to need something that clamps onto the bracket that holds my monitor, I think, and then stretch down sort of in front of me, and then I can waggle it here in front of me. I'll take a look at this clip real quick because I think it's going to be me talking about thick boys or something. See this little like hole here? They route the cable up along the well, they route up along the shaft. You'll see this little like hole here. They route the cable up along the well, they route up along the shaft. You'll see this little. Of course, here. I had to be me doing the well, like a little prissy baby. Of course, it had to be that. Yeah, well, like I'm a wasp or something. You know, I'm from the Appalachian. I live in a multi-million-dollar cabin in the Appalachian Mountains. It's old white wasp. Okay, I imagine myself with a take the sweater off and wrap it around my neck and wear my blookers onto my yacht. Oh man. Oh, did I have that muted? I'm sorry, buddy. You gotta do it again. I muted all the channels earlier when I was testing out the audio stuff. I had you muted. I gotta eat some of those almonds. I'm dying. Anyways, so we're looking at mic arms. It's got to be a monitor clip. I don't know if this can do it. Some of these other guys are significantly cheaper. I used to own this one. You see, I purchased it on September 3rd. I actually sent this one to Badman when I sent him my old mic, and I sent him this stand along with it. This stand may work just fine and be quite a bit cheaper, but you see the clamp style. If we look here, see that clamp? That's not going to work for a monitor stand. Or, you know what? Maybe it could, actually. Because half the monitor stand is a flat surface. Wait. The shaft of the monitor stand. The shaft of the monitor stand is rounded, so clamping this onto that is a no-go. So I have to clamp it onto the actual the beams that the monitors are clipped on. But I don't know if this can angle down appropriately. That's my problem. I think it has to angle like up and out. It can't angle down. You see what I'm saying? I don't think these things do well angling down. I think they can angle like horizontal and across, like their mode of rotation is like, you know, it's like this. It's like 180 degrees. It's not, you know, negative 20 or something. If that made any sense to you. It's not like a, you know, 210. That's what I'm thinking anyways. And by the way, searching for wall-mounted mic stand does not effing exist. Could not find anything that existed. I found one, and it doesn't work. And I made a mistake, and I drilled a hole in the wall that I'm going to have to cover up with drywall now because it doesn't work. Let me show you why. This is the wall mount I got. Now, if you have ever put together, mounted anything on your wall like a TV, you may know the answer to this right away. Tell me why this design may not work when trying to anchor something reasonably heavy, 10 pounds-ish, to your wall, especially when it's movable, when you got to move it because it adds a little tension and torque into the thing. Why do you think that doesn't work? Can you tell? I'll give you a minute while I eat an almond. Whoop. So I bought this piece because it was advertising wall mount. Okay? Advertising wall mount. Up to 10 pounds. For whatever reason, I didn't read the reviews. I went back and read them. Not very good. Or at least, they're good for things that are stationary. Don't move. Yeah. Not a lot of surface area on there, right? It's not really distributing weight on the wall surface. But what I found even more confusing and craziness in design terms, if you look at where those holes are, if I can get a little closer and take a look. The thickness of most studs in your wall is about an inch. A majority of places are about an inch. So, these two holes on top are probably an inch and a half apart. Why would you do that? So what I did was I drilled this one in the stud, obviously, and then I did a wall anchor on these top two, and a wall anchor it's so frustrating. Think about that. Something that you're going to move around on the wall, that you're going to put some torque into and some strength into, you're going to need it mounted to the wall pretty heavily. That's when you mount TVs. Like, you put some heavy stuff on there, but most of the time, you're not grabbing the TV and moving around, adding extra weight and extra strength to it, right? This one, the bottom will be mounted just fine to the stud, right? The top two are too far apart to be mounted into the stud, so they're mounted into drywall. But the problem is when you're pulling on it, all the weight is coming this way, right? You're pulling off the top. You're not pulling the bottom up where it's you're not pulling from down here. It's the most ridiculous design. So the top two being mounted to drywall, even with drywall anchors, have no chance of holding weight when you're pulling from the top. The whole thing will just peel off. Bottom will stay in just fine. Just stupid. It should have been something like this. These two should be gone. There should be one on top that drills into the drywall, or drills in the stud. Another on the bottom drills in the stud. You put it on like that. Yeah, to a double stud. Or what I realized is actually kind of what Zeb is saying, is that you mount a piece of wood there first and then drill this into the piece of wood. But still, if you're advertising a wall mount, I shouldn't need to buy an extra piece of wood to mount this shit on. So frustrating. Or do what some other devices like this do, where you can drill something into a stud, drill like a couple of nails into it, and then this goes on top and like slides down and locks into it. So the base piece is locked in. Then all you need to worry about is the strength of the lock to this piece, because the base is already drilled in. I've seen that done before on many different products. For whatever reason, this is just like a heavy piece of metal that's supposed to support 50 inches of torque, like moving around in this thing, and the top two can't be drilled in the studs. It's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. I can't believe I bought this without thinking about that. I tried it here. I'm like, oh god, that was stupid. As soon as I did it. So anyways, this might still be usable for other things that are not moving around. For instance, if I mounted this and just put a light on it, and it was a static light, it wasn't moving around, that would be fine. That's might be what I use it for. I could use it the same way for the security cameras that I have up here and here. I could mount this and put a camera on there or something like that, or a static mic. Anything like that would be fine. Anything you have to move, it's the dumbest design I've ever seen, and I can't believe I bought it. Why would you do that? What a weird choice of design. A shaft in the wall isn't wide enough. Exactly. Anyways, so I don't know if I'm going to mount a piece of wood and put this on it and use it like that. However, the reason I bought it was to mount the camera on, that long camera angle, but since I mounted it to the monitor stand, seems to be working out okay right now, I might not need it. But it's certainly not going to be able to hold my microphone up. My camera weighs about a pound. This microphone weighs almost double that, and I'm moving the mic around all the time. To the back side of the desk if it rotates. Yeah. So it came with a desk clamp, which is what I used to clamp it to the monitor stand, but it won't work to clamp on the desk because the underneath is sloped. So the clamp won't secure. It's a weird, cavalcade of issues here. I'm still pissed I couldn't clip you saying shaft. We can go watch the bot and get a good clip. So the next thing I want to do is move this mic to a decent stand. I may grab one of these arms and then get a shock with it, see how it works. I'm still concerned. My big problem is the feet of the mic stand really bother me. Now, what I would really love to see is if there's a mic stand that can really reach, like is back weighted quite a bit. I might consider that as a selection. If I could put maybe the mic stand over here in the corner and have the mic really extend in, but I would need it to bend. It can't be a straight shot because I need to move it around quite a bit. I think it's because what I want is so particular and obscure, I think, that they maybe don't make it, or maybe there's like one person that makes it and it's like another $300 product like what we just saw. That's possible. Camera dampeners, we forgot about that one. How do I make it so the camera doesn't shake? Yeah, I'm watching on the camera. It's not really noticeable because it has a little bit of a stability thing inside. But if I really bang on the desk or something, I think you're going to see it jiggle around. I don't like that. Everything perfect. And then we're cutting out the rack. That's the other thing. Actually, I wonder who would do that. Like a metal worker, like a smith or something. My idea was, because this pops right off, I pop this off, take it down to whoever does it, and bring like a cutout, like a paper cutout of the size of the symbol I want, and have them just cut out. Get it laser etched. Is that the profession that I would look up? That's a boom I have. It's awesome. Oh, this one? Yeah. It's not bad. I don't like the feet being right underneath my chair, though. That's my only problem. Oh, the one on the screen. Yeah. Yeah, I bought this one a long time ago. It's a good stand. It's a good mic arm. Yours was what? Crap what, Frumpy? Your mic stand is crap? If mic stand, then yeah, this one here wasn't too bad. But it depends on the weight of your mic, is what I found. Because even my AT 2020 had a little trouble with this mic stand. This mic arm supports quite a bit of weight, but it's annoying how you have to adjust it, and I don't like the straight shaft of it. I want a little like a curved shaft. All day. Yeah, the mic stand I really want is $300, so that's not happening. Actually, I wonder if they make one that's specific for Shure. See you, buddy. Thanks for hanging. Let me know if you get a new chair. What's it doing? Go too bad. We don't have that command here. Emote. Or is that BTTV or something? Where is it? I want the Shure vocal microphone. Okay. How can get custom decals if you don't want to get that etched out too? Oh, like just to put on the side of it? That's a decent idea. But I kind of like the idea of having it lit up. That's been my my goal for quite a while. My mouse, man. I wonder if I'm getting interference from that cage. So this is the Shure website. That's the mic I have is a Shure SM7B. I wonder if they make something that would solve this. Wow, look at all this extra shit. I want to get this stuff. I want to get all this stuff. Look at this furry thing. What is this? A wind jammer. Did that go right on top of my mic and be all furry? I got a picture of that? I'd love to see how that looks. What do you think? I should get this on the end of my mic? Talking to a fur ball or a koosh ball. What is this one now? The universal one. Oh, okay. That's not going to clip on my desk. Might be able to clip on the mic stand, though. What's this one now? Mic arm supports quite a bit of weight. But it's annoying how you have to adjust it, and I don't like the straight shaft of it. I want a little like a curved shaft. All day. All day. That's a good one. Ah, oh, damn it, I closed the website. I didn't see any mic arms on there, though. Am I crazy? Pistol grip mount. Sounds sexy. A shoe mount. Put the microphone on my shoe. Camcorder interface. Some of those fluff balls. I actually have this one. I bought this line matching transformer a long time ago when I was trying to solve a problem. Ended up not being a problem. Oh, there's other pages. Okay. Can I just keep scrolling forever? I see this mic stand. I'll bring that up on the side. These softy windshields are awesome. I want to get one of these. Placement kits, desktop bass. I haven't seen that one. What is happening with my mouse? Yeah, none of this stuff is solving it. Ceiling array adapter? That sounds awesome. What is that? Rack unit component. Rack tray for the audio interfaces? I'm sorry, what is this? Oh, it's legit just a tray. Yeah, I don't need a tray.
Pipe it up, pipe it up, pipe it up, pipe it up, pipe it up.
Pipe you up. Why are we not getting a picture here? Let's go, buddy. If this mic doesn't start working, I'm gonna kill someone. Come on. What is it about this mic that is having a rough time right now? Theory on Bluetooth. Huh, that better not be the reason. Wait, pipe me up which shaft? The straight or the curved one? Whichever one you hate more. You really not gonna let me see it? What a dick. You don't sell these things? Come on. Fine. S15A? There. Google will tell me. Or Amazon. Damn, though. $139. It says that thing goes 15 feet. Does that mean I can set it behind me a bunch or over here in a corner and have it reach right in? Because I'm down with that. Can I see this guy in use? See, these are the mic stands I have, and I like them fine, but I want another crook in it. You know what I mean? It's like this currently. I want to be like this. It's got to bend one more time. Very wobbly if using heavy mics. Oh, good. That's a good customer review. Live choral stuff. 5 stars. As expected, works well. Less than 1 star. Extremely flimsy. And doesn't work correct. When extended, the aluminum gets dense because you have to tighten it. Ew. We had to tape it together? Oh my god. Is there a higher rated one that we can look at? This is the same one I have. I have this. Oh yeah, you purchased this item. I just want it to be longer and with more bends. Again, I'm being a little prissy baby right now about this stuff. My stuff works just fine. But it could always work better. Look at the price of that guy compared to the one I bought. $35. 5 stars.
You mock my pain!
Life is pain, Highness.
It is.
Anyone who says differently is selling something.
They are. All right, that's enough looking at this. I'll worry about that a little bit tomorrow and wallow in my shame of buying this stupid-ass wall mount that didn't work. I think we'd take a look at everything in the studio tonight. That is from The Princess Bride, my man. You mock my pain. It actually sounds a little bit like Cersei. So, let's go back. It's almost 11. That's enough for the tech show. We looked at everything in the studio today. We looked at all the tech upgrades that I want to make. We even took a look inside the fantasy closet. It's every man's dream. What's in my closet? What do we need to fix? I need to get a shock mount for the camera. I need a new mic stand for this microphone. Hopefully a monitor mounted one. If you know of one, feel free to DM or whatever. Holler at me in the Discord. Other than that, I'm getting close. Oh, the lights. I'm going to replace these bulbs with LED RGB lights because I want to be able to switch. But I need it to be about the same lumen. These are right now like 6,000 lumen. I don't think I can... I have a feeling they don't make RGB lights in over 5,000 lumen. I'm guessing. Is Pony hiding in your closet? He wouldn't be hiding. He'd be sitting on my lap, sharing this chair, playing our games, telling jokes and laughing in each other's ears. That's just our relationship. We're going to play games now. If you have any questions, as in every week, please feel free to shout them out in the Discord, shout them out in DMs on Twitter, wherever you like. I'm very happy to help, especially when it comes to builds or any kind of question about the equipment that I have in my studio right now. I change stuff like weekly on this show in terms of the stuff you see in the background and the stuff that's used behind the camera. So, you'll always see updates on the Twitter and the Instagram when I'm building stuff, so feel free to follow those. 4 days left of this month's charity fund. Shatterproof. We've raised over $2,000 for the bar this month for Shatterproof. Next month, the art contest is on. It may now be over. I don't know. I think Frump was cutting it off tonight. If you want to submit a design, you have not done so yet, please go do that immediately, like in the next 2 minutes, because it may be over. And there were some cool designs today. There may be a vote coming up. Look for that, and please do vote on it. Our new shirts will be ready on the 1st. Designed by Humans is a little bit quicker with putting our stuff up on the store. So when the new shirts go up, as always, all of the revenue that we make off the shirt goes back to the charity, which actually we need to do in the next couple days. I'll make a note of that. I think we made like $30 or $50 on shirts or something, so can contribute that to the community or to the charity as well. Next month is Charity Water. I think that's what it's called. I need to do some more research. I'm a little behind on it. But that'll be another good one. We're like not even halfway through the year. Like $6,000 raised. It's unreal. I may be way off in that. Maybe like 4,000. I don't know. But it's way more than I could have ever imagined. I bought Sekiro today. I have been watching my friend Kill Magruder, who is hanging out here, and I've been watching Ichi Badass play it. And it was all of a sudden I found myself, I was watching Ichi last night play, and I noticed that I had watched him for like half an hour straight, which is pretty long for me to watch like a stream and just sit and watch. And I was watching the gameplay thinking like, this is a cool ass game. So I may play that tonight. The Last of Us is coming up next week, I promise. I say it every freaking night. We are gonna play The Last of Us. I want to do another playthrough. I have the executive edition or whatever it's called ready to go. I just need to link the sound up to the system, make sure everything's working out right. We may start as early as Friday, so be here for that. That's it. Give me a minute to like actually go get some food that isn't almonds to eat. I'm gonna make a sandwich or something, and I'll be right back. And we'll play some Sekiro and see how hard it is. You're about to see, by the way. I hear all about how hard it is. I seen Kill Magruder. He's like 160 deaths or something. I think about 160. That was the last I saw. I think he clicked over to like 155 or something. So it's probably about 160. Ichi Badass, dying all the time watching him. You know, these guys know how to play games. You're about to see. I guess it's not blind if I've seen the game before, but it's my first time. Okay, I'm about to load up the game. We're gonna no hit kill the game tonight. No hit. I'm professional. Okay, that's what you get from this channel. Supreme gameplay. I'll be right back.